Coach, I guess what's the format of the scrimmage tomorrow? How many plays you want to run through, and how are you going to treat it?
Not quite a full game, but we're hoping to get 50 plays for the ones and twos, and then another 12 to 15 for the threes and fours. Like to get everybody on film, give everybody an opportunity to compete. We'll have some of the twos run with the ones. We'll have some of the threes run with the twos. Whoever we think is in a competitive situation. So. And then we'll put the ball in all kinds of different situations, so we get everything on tape. Short yardage, goal line, backed up. There'll be a 2-minute period, that type of thing.
Does a scrimmage count more than a practice, Al, in terms of how you view?
It does. It does. Not that they should have anxiety, but it should feel like a test. And we're trying to get them to perform. To free up and trust their technique and trust what they've learned and go out there and perform and execute. And it should feel different. It should feel different when they prepare tonight. It should feel different when they come over in the morning. And right down to we put uniforms on them just to make sure they know it is different.
That said, is it good to get a good gauge of the kickers when they have that kind of pressure on them?
Correct. We won't punt tomorrow, but we will kick placements. And it's important, because obviously if you're backed up and you drive the ball 80 yards, you deserve to finish with points. So it's important for the offense. It's important for us to see the operation, and clearly we want to make sure that the kickers perform under duress.
Do you want to make a decision on the kickers as well after the second scrimmage?
Yes.
Have you decided
Yep.
on that?
Same thing.
Okay.
Again, right now Bots is doing really well from a punting standpoint. I think anybody that has watched him just in early work here could see that. Hoping that someone will come up and really challenge him here in the next 10 days. And the kickoff and placement's just really too close to call right now.
I guess you have some commitments and maybe some recruits coming out tomorrow. What do you hope they learn about the program and the coaching staff just from watching on at the scrimmage?
Well, it's a lot of coaches don't want to do that because it's really, you really don't have control over everything. But for us, we want them to see who we are, how we coach, how our team reacts, all those things. It will be about as close as you can get to actually being here as a student athlete, because it's very real. It's not like we're over there talking to them every minute of the day. We're out there coaching. We're running the scrimmage, and they're watching. They'll have a chance to meet some players, have a meal with the guys, get around our deans and professors, and be around our student athletes, which will be good.
Since you don't have the benefit of preseason games, talk about the benefit to your staff as far as communication, getting the plays in, all that stuff.
Yeah, great question. We'll have a full game day operation tomorrow. So that means we won't be up in the booths or whatever, but we will be up in lifts as offense and defensive staffs, and I want it to sound exactly the way it will sound, from the spotter upstairs to the coordinator, and then clearly I'll have communication with the coordinator on both sides throughout. So I think it will be very important that we get that in.
And following up on that, how much, I guess, playbook worthy is it going to be compared to game day? Is it going to be similar so the guys have to recall on the fly?
Yeah, I think the thing that's been most impressive about this training camp is our systems are in. We had an 8-day aggressive install, and you can't do that with a team that really didn't prepare or study independently over the summer. So the kids gave us an opportunity to do that. We have most of it in. We're actually scaling back for the scrimmage, and then we'll go right back and try to refine some things next week. So there'll be a limited package. We don't really want a lot of MEs and that type of thing, mental errors, excuse me. We don't want a lot of moving parts. We want them to go out and see who's improved.
I know a couple guys are nicked up, but there's some guys that will be held out.
Who will be held out of the scrimmage tomorrow? Blake Ailes will be held out. Chase Ford will be held out. I don't know of anybody else right now that will be held out of the scrimmage as we sit here today. There might be some things that linger that I'm not aware of right now, but as of right now, I think we'll be pretty good.
All right,
Chicolo's good to go. The Chicolo.
Everything that I hear is that he'll be fine.
Are any of those situations long term or no, just more day to day kind of thing?
Well, it's day to day. Yeah. Again, if it looks like it's going to be a long term thing, like Cheyenne, and again, or Chantrell, we'll let you know. I was surprised at what Marcus Forston has done in and continues to do. Again, it's to the point now where I'm giving him a day off as opposed to. So he's been tremendous.
How you decided this fall not to allow the freshmen to talk? Can you just talk about that decision? And why that?
Well, I mean, it's not really that I'm not allowing them to talk. I'm just trying to let them get in. This is a grind. They literally the last day they had summer school, they started camp. So, I haven't really talked to Chris about it, but I'm sure we'll sit down and give you access before we get going here. But just this first week was just too much. It was too much. Every minute they have, they're either with a position coach or trying to learn the playbook. And I think you guys know that I like the freshman class, and really all but one or two are going to be playing for us in some capacity. They're really all in the mix right now, which is good.
With the scrimmage tomorrow, what were you looking for out of the quarterbacks? What would you like to see out of them?
Well, that hasn't changed. Sometimes I feel like I'm getting trick questions because everybody asks me the same thing, and I feel like I give the same answer. But obviously, completion percentage is important. Distributing the football is important. Decision making is important, and obviously, the biggest thing, if we don't fix turnovers, that's going to be critical. But you got to run your team. We got to see a manager out there. We got to see a leader, and we need guys that move the ball and create on the run and make some plays that are beyond the design.
Raymond Buchanan, how do you feel like he's responded to the, since the incident in the spring?
Again, it's unfortunate incident, but Raymond has never been a problem before, and Raymond hasn't been a problem since. Again, Raymond is one of our leaders, and I know that might scare some people that don't know him, but Raymond Buchanan is a worker. He's always done a great job here on the campus and in our community. He's been one of our leaders since I've been here, and he's having a great camp. So I think he is in incredible condition right now, based on where he was in the spring and how he's doing now.
And how does that experience help you guys? The fact that he started all last year in terms of his leadership.
Yeah, I think he's stronger now. I think he's stronger. I think he would tell you he's faster, he's stronger, and he's in better condition. And I think he was humbled by what happened in the spring. And I think instead of going into his shell, he's reached out. He's reached out more. He's more of a mentor now. He's telling the young guys what can happen with one bad decision. And I think, from that standpoint, he deserves the opportunity to grow from that, and he did. And as I said to you guys in the spring, I'm not going to turn my back on a young man that has done so many good things for our university and for our program because he made a bad choice.
I want to ask you about YouTube. It's obviously changed high school football a little bit as far as recruiting. How much, if at all, do you guys use YouTube as far as keeping an eye on certain recruits? Or?
Well, I think I think clearly if you're looking at a guy, if you're trying to find quick information on a guy, you can YouTube him now, and get however many plays, highlight plays. Now there's self-selected plays, so you got to be careful. You can't just you don't buy a house without walking through it. Without having an inspection. So for us, then we have to if we like what we see, then we can follow up with game tapes and all that. But clearly, that's a very standard way, especially the skill guys, the guys who touch the ball, the wide receivers, the quarterbacks, and the running backs. Because many times we take 3 or 4 games and make that kind of touch tape anyway. Every time they touch the ball, so that's pretty much how we utilize it at this stage. So
it's really good for guys that maybe haven't gotten a lot of attention to get themselves out there for coaches.
Sure, I don't think there's any question about that. I think if I'm a recruiting coach representing a certain area, and if I hear a name pop up the first 3 games of the season, I'll Google it and see what it looks like and or YouTube it, however it is. I don't know how to do all that stuff, but I think then you watch it, and then if you want to follow up, you go from there.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, thanks.
Thank you all.